Next speaker then is Jefferson County Sheriff Mike Brasfield.
Can you hear me now? All right. What I'm going to do is read just a brief recap of some events that took place that evolved over the last couple of months. It's not going to take 15 minutes, and hopefully we will be able to get through our presentation quicker and that some questions from the audience can come forth. After a number of events surfaced on roadblocks being conducted or rolling traffic checkpoints by the Border Patrol, I reached out to the Washington State Patrol in the latter part of August of this year and asked them to facilitate a meeting with Border Patrol officials and the Sheriff of Clallam County, myself, police chiefs from Fort Townsend, Sequim, Port Angeles, as well as some other officials from the State Patrol. That meeting was held in my office on the 25th of September. The purpose of that meeting was to make sure that all of us involved in the various levels of law enforcement had a clear understanding of what expectations there would be between our agencies, what we would and would not do. I certainly have the utmost respect for the Border Patrol and the duties and responsibilities that they have. Chief Bates and his staff have been very responsive with me, as well as to the other law enforcement agencies. But what I wanted to make sure that everyone understood is that we are a local county law enforcement agency responsible for the enforcement of Jefferson County ordinances and Washington state laws, and that we were not federal agents. We did not have the authority or the power or the resources, for that matter, ever, even if we were so empowered, to become immigration agents on behalf of the federal government. We did talk about and if I was in another forum, I would get applause for another reason, but in any event, I'm trying to be as factual as I can. What I did want to stress also, which some of you which may have read in either the Leader or the Fort Townsend or the Peninsula Daily News, is that subsequent to that meeting, in which it had been made very clear to my staff and to the other law enforcement, municipal and county law enforcement agencies here on the peninsula, that we did want to maintain open communication. We have people such as myself and people at the table over here that are armed, that have marked patrol cars, and one of the things that was learned by this nation after 9/11 was that there was a terrible lack of infrastructure for being able to communicate back and forth to avoid misunderstandings, and also for the safety of all of us, the community and the respective agencies. Subsequent to that meeting, which I think was well received by all that participated, we agreed that we would work with the State Patrol to try and facilitate the process of having a common radio frequency so that we would at least be aware of the circumstances that were going on in our respective jurisdictions. I, for one, with my agency, and I know Sheriff Benedict, I can speak for him in Clallam County, and others had indicated that we would not be participating in routine operations such as the roadblocks on 104. We certainly would respond if there was someone in distress or if someone was, there was a life-threatening situation, a help the officer type of call. But other than that, and my instructions to my deputies was I don't want to see, again, no offense to anyone, but I don't want to see pictures of the Jefferson County Sheriff involved in traffic stops. Because there probably will be a question on that. After that meeting on September 25th, one of my patrol supervisors on October 1st made a routine traffic stop here outside the Chimacum school for speeding in a school zone. And we get traffic enforcement dollars for doing that. Even if we didn't, we should be doing that. The gentleman that was stopped indicated that through sign language and so forth that he did not speak English. The sergeant was aware that there was a Border Patrol officer in the area, and that Border Patrol officer was contacted, arrived at the scene. Our sergeant cited the individual for the traffic violation, and at some point the Border Patrol took whatever enforcement action they determined from that event. I have been asked if we can't use civilian, untrained translators for those kinds of situations. I'll tell you what I think most of my fellow law enforcement officers will tell you, that in tactical situations, whether it's a traffic stop or any other type of police enforcement action, we need to have someone who is trained in law enforcement and is also certified by the courts to be a translator. That doesn't mean that we cannot use volunteer translators in situations where we have a civil disturbance or civil conversation at the sheriff's office, we have a lost child, whatever. We will avail ourselves of any resource within the community for that. But anytime we are involved in enforcement action, we will utilize any law enforcement agency that has that translation capability. And with that, I'll leave it until it's question and answer time. Thank you.